Dear participants, welcome to our second day of our third International Econder Congress. Today we will do English sessions and Professor Mrs. Nadia Mansur is here. She will be
Good morning.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Now, Professor Mrs. Nadia Mansur will be our chair today in English session. Now, dear Professor, we can start our session and thank you very much for your contribution to our Congress.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm very honored to be with you today. So we can start this session with Mr. Professor Qasim. Are you ready, Mr.?
Mr. Vargas? Mr. Vargas? Do you hear us? Can you open your microphone?
Yeah. We can't listen. Can you?
Mr. Vargas,
can you listen?
We cannot hear you. Can you open your microphone?
Please.
Okay, I will try. Now ready. My phone now ready. I don't know.
Your voice is too low, Mr. Vargas.
We can't hear.
We are hard to hear you.
Okay now?
Not bad. It's so-so.
If now okay, maybe if microphone of computer is not ready, but the message is microphone is okay in my computer. But, now okay now.
Now we get difficulty in hearing you. We hear you, but not very well. It's so-so. If you cannot do, of course, you can participate and present your presentation, Mr. Vargas.
You can not.
Mr. Vargas, you can start, please. Of course, we get difficulty in hearing you, but we hear you. Please.
Mr. Barkas, are you ready, please?
Miss Saha Ben Sarem,
Good morning.
hello. Are you ready?
Okay, yes. Just 1 minute.
Now I open share screening. You can share screen, and by this way, Mr. Vargas has time to solve microphone problems.
Okay.
Please, you can start. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you. We will present article Untitled Examination of the Big Data Analytics and Customer Segmentation in the Banking Sector, Learning from the BNP Paribas Bank of France. This article was written by Salha bin Salim and Najia Mansour. So the introduction, the big data developed as the term to depict large databases that could not be captured, stored, managed, and analyzed using traditional database. Today, it refers also to the set of technology that that perfect all of the function as well as varied collection that tell complex problem and make allocate value from data. So the figure shows how the worldwide interest in the big data increased over time since 2011. So our objective is to discuss the utility of demographic segmentation in determining the customer needs, the customer profile, and the customer transactions. We aim also to capture how big data analytics and customer segmentation are being successfully useful in the banking sector, and especially the BNP Paribas Bank of France. So, conceptual framework, since consumer needs have become more complex and competitive in the banking sector, it has eliminated cost of each bank to compete in the market for the long-term period. So, customer segmentation thus has become complex in the financial service industry. So, the big data is important in the banking sector to take segmentation to the next level by building detailed customer profiles. For BNB banks, it is important to gain a complete view of consumer profile for a variety of factors. In this study, we concentrate our analysis on this customer segmentation on the French market, where the employees number present 57,233 workers. Let's start by the impact of big data on banking industry. The banking industry is the prime example of how technology and revolution customer experience. Customers can now use their mobile phone to check the account balance, deposit check, buy bills, and transaction money. There is no need for them to even leave their house. So the activity now occurs mostly online. This is where adopting the big data strategy and technology become so important to the banking sector. However, sometimes the use of big data present as the main reason why traditional banks are strictly compete with similar business and online-only financial institutions. The advantage of the big data. January 2019 stressed 5 top advantages of the big data. First, the big data always gain a complete view of consumer with profiling. It allows the bank to isolate the client into perfect classification by segments. Second, the big data allows the bank to understand how your consumers buy. Third, the big data allows bank to identify opportunity for upselling and cross-selling. Third, it always adapts the consumer experience to each individual. And finally, the big data always bank to reduce the risk of fraudulent behavior. Now going to the case study of the big data for the BNP Paribas Bank of France. First, the BNP Paribas is the leading French investment bank, specialized in financial market and infrastructure financing. It is a French international bank group created in 1848 to face a serious economic and banking crisis affecting France. So the BNP Paribas hold key position in the three cooperating divisions. So domestic, such as domestic market and international finance service for retailing bank, and corporate and institutional bank for corporate and institutional clients. Now, the BNP Paribas Bank planted in 71 countries. Let's start by the market identification. Based on the data, it can conclude that the employees and workers dominate at most than 58% to the total French population, and only 12% choose to become business leaders. So, this concludes that the future market of the BNP Paribas Bank is the workers. Hence, the bank should focus more on the technology tools provided to workers. The first stage of market identification is to identify the future needs of consumers. So after deciding the future consumer, the manager can identify the requirement of each client segment. Then it can assess the accessibility product in the market and create another product to satisfy the identified needs of a client. According to a survey of 37 million individuals carried out by Thomson and Nix 2019 on the expectation and needs of the consumer in the BNB banks, show the percentage of consumers who have noted that the following elements are the first or the second necessity. According to this survey, 18% of the individual noted that control daily and monthly expense using relevant tools and advice present as the first or the second necessity. 15% of these people note that make good financial decisions present as deficit are present as the first or the second necessity. 30% note that provide financial research to overcome hard time, such accident, loss in income, present as the first necessity. 11% note that have necessary insurance products to protect the client and his family, present as the first or the second necessity. And 11% note that financial important project such as a new car, new home, a study, present as the first necessity. 12% note that finance, my investment and expense, taking into account my tax situation, present as the second or the first necessity for the client. And finally, 12% note that manage or overdraft debit using adopted product, present as the first and the second necessity of the client. So the second step of market identification is to evaluate the client segmentation. So that's mean evaluate the behavior and client satisfaction. In evaluation, the comportment of the segment, the manager should measure the client profile, the number of transactions in each segment, and to what extent the customer is satisfied with the technology tools offered by BNB Paribas Bank. The figures show that the BNB Paribas Bank occupied the second class after the agriculture credit group by 33 million customers according to Statistical 2020. This number reflects the crucial role of BNB Paribas Bank in the financing of the French economy and the technological tools used by this bank to satisfy its consumers. Finally, conclusion. So the big data analytic and consumer segmentation strategy are now being implemented across various spheres of the banking sector and are helping them deliver better service to their customers and improve on their active and passive security systems. This paper aims to capture how big data analytic and consumer segmentation are being successfully used in the banking sector. Our analysis concentrate on the BNB Paribas Bank of France and the market identification and consumer needs. We conclude that more than 58% of the total French population are the workers and employees. Hence, the BNB Paribas Bank should concentrate on this category. This study can be further prolonged into trying and quantifying the financial and non-financial benefit that BNB Paribas Bank repeat after their implementation of the big data analytic and predict the improving in financial statement of the bank. And thank you for your attention.
Mr. Nadia.
Thank you for your attention.
So thank you very much, Mrs. Salha. Thank you for the quality of presentation. Do you have any questions?
Can I have a question, Mrs. Sarva? What do you think about the effect of pandemic to the internet banking sector?
Sorry, what do you think about?
The effect of pandemic to internet banking.
Okay, so the pandemic of COVID-19 has a benefit effect on the big data banking sector, since the most transaction operation have taken at house. So the digitalization and the technology tools increase in this pandemic, according to the worldwide. So I think that the pandemic of coronavirus has a benefit effect on the digitalization in the banking sector, since it increased the technology tools used by the banking sector in this period. Okay?
Thank you.
Did you agree with me?
Thank you very much. Yes, we agree with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Serkan. So we will start now with Mr. Balkasm. Yes, I hope you are ready now. Can you use the microphone, please? Mr. Balkasm.
Can you listen me now?
Yes, it isn't very well, but
I don't the mistake of make microphone or something.
okay, isn't a problem. You can start.
Okay. Thank you for this chance. I'm Abdul Qasim Ali Al Musrati. I am from Libya. I am a PhD student in Kastamonu University. My total of my research talk about entrepreneurship university in the world.
Okay.
I can't see my PowerPoint.
No, we can't see the screen sheet now.
My PowerPoint, I can't see my PowerPoint.
So please click on top to bottom share screen.
Click what about?
Share screen.
View screen.
Yes, share screen.
Share screen. I can't see my selection. I'm sorry, I can't see my presentation. Look. Last one, I see all selected or all the presentation, but now.
Sir,
I can't see my presentation.
we can see under the screen, there is a button, green, is a green, share screen. Please click this.
Share screen. Okay, this is share screen. Okay.
Yes, please click this
Okay, I click share screen now.
and select PowerPoint.
Share.
Select the PowerPoint.
Select the PowerPoint. Let's see. I can.
Okay,
Yes. Okay.
Okay now.
go
Yes.
to PowerPoint.
Please choose the PowerPoint. The red button.
Come on, look. You see.
In the down of your PC, choose the PowerPoint, please.
Serkan hocam uzaktan kumanda istedim, verebilir misin? So don't click your screen. I am using your computer.
Yes. Yes. Can you?
Adam. Dr. Baldazım, please don't click your screen. I am using your computer.
Now I select, but maybe some problem. I think.
Don't click anything, okay?
Okay.
The PowerPoint is the last one.
Where is the PowerPoint?
The last one.
Okay, here and here.
Yes, I think. Yeah.
Now you can start, sir.
Okay, thank you. So the first, I will come to the first.
Mr. Belkacem, you can start now.
Okay, tamam, inshallah.
Okay.
My research title Entrepreneurship in University Education and Conception of Entrepreneurial University. The introduction, university education is a key element in the modern nations. University is the first representative of scientific leadership and entrepreneurship in the society. Entrepreneurial university in the developed countries became the driving force of the economy, where it plays the key role on knowledge in economy. The university is a source of building up the environment of the innovation, establishing a system for economic development based on sciences applied knowledge. Now, what is the conception and mission of the entrepreneurial university? The idea of the entrepreneurial university means exciting of the education institution culture, open, flexible, and innovative, along with the maintenance the solid structure, building strong relations as a basic creation or carry-on that distinguish it from the traditional institutes and helps dealing with the weak mean structures. In terms of organize the academic and entrepreneurial project in vertical. The concept of the entrepreneurial university. You can listen me, okay?
Yes, we can, yes.
The concept of entrepreneurial university appeared in Europe during late 1990s as invited results of many institutions of higher education seek to be more innovative and effective in their inner process and management, and simultaneously perceived in the cooperation programs with the board business environment. The entrepreneurial universities as a multi-phases institution along with the mechanisms aimed at the directly supporting the transfer of technology from the academic field to the industrial-based mechanisms of supporting entrepreneurship activities through entrepreneurial education, provided that these mechanisms to be correlated and integrated. The entrepreneurial university formal can establish the firms or firms correlation between university education and university education, national economy, and labor market by means of exciting of huge investment projects that meet the need of the society, provide external funding sources for the university, and achieve the southability between the needs of labor market and the outputs the university education. Now the relationship between entrepreneurial university and the knowledge economy. The knowledge economy affected the mechanism of the dealing with knowledge systems as well as created education and the managerial systems of new philosophy which are governed by global economies. From this product, the entrepreneurial university came especially after traditional structure and functions of the production transformed from the physical capital to intangible capital from the knowledge of innovation and intellectual creation with an added value due to the innovation, knowledge, and business activities. Two, with the contemporary economic attitudes that based on knowledge, that production and the transfer of sciences, innovation, and technology to business and production sectors became basic mission the entrepreneurial university carries out, which can contribute effectively in the building knowledge-based economy. The objectives of the entrepreneurial university: first one, to promote the national economy by sustaining the innovation and knowledge system. Two, keep pace with the national and the global development. Three, the communication or the communicate to the social responsibility of the university. Four, system of strategic performance in competitive environment. Why transforming to the environmental university now? The global attitude toward the entrepreneurship in higher education and meeting the requirements of knowledge economy, confronting a competitive environment, and the interest of universities to really turn toward their solstices. The methodology which used in the research is describe
Yes, Mr. Belkacem, can you continue?
I think he's lost connection.
So unfortunately, I think Mr. Balkasim had lost the connection. So we can go to the presentation of Mr. Arunima.
Mr. Arun, Miss Arunumya.
Arunima. Yes, I think she is ready. Good
Yes,
morning.
yes. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible properly?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Yes, you can start.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sharing my screen.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Can everyone see it?
Yes, I think it's okay.
Okay, okay. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Arunima Railu. I'm an assistant professor at Shivaji Science College, Nagpur. And my topic for today is role of language in empowering women through Bollywood films, English to English, and the lunchbox. So to begin with, I would like to tell everyone who does not know Bollywood films that they usually have certain themes, and they can be very traditional. And but the films that we are talking about today are two women-centric films, and they are progressive films. And why we are talking about these two films is because they have something very, very important at their core. They have something that talks about women being empowered through language. So these are the two films that we are focusing on today. And let me talk a little bit about more about them as we go through it. Yes. Okay. So to begin with, there is this quote by Letty Cotton Pogrebin where she says, "No laborer in the world is expected to work for room, board, and love, except the housewife." And this is so poignant because we see everything that a man does because he's doing everything for glory, doing everything for respect. But the only response housewives all around the world get is, what do you do at home? What do you do all day? तुम सारा दिन घर पे क्या करती हो? This is a very, very common statement heard in Hindi in almost all households in India. And it is very derogatory because what it means to say is, you sit at home, you don't bring in money, you're not a breadwinner. So whatever efforts that you may be putting in, how do they matter? How do you contribute? And all the efforts that a housewife takes to maintain a household, to cook and clean, are trivial because they don't matter. Unlike men who can do a single thing. Let's take the example of this pandemic. And I saw these videos and Facebook posts where everyone made such a big deal out of men cooking, right? How and why is that such a big deal when women do it on a daily basis? And that is what feeds us. Yeah. Okay. So this is the point I'm trying to make. And let's move on. So, okay. Now let's look at some statistics, right? So in the land of arranged marriages, unsurprisingly, housewives are found aplenty. Indians have internalized patriarchy with such fervor that even today, many families will think, oh, we are much above letting women work. our women don't work. Our women sit at home, take care of their families, cook and clean, and all of those things. But the reality of this, the magnitude of this, can be seen in the numbers. As you can see on the screen, 77% of female population in India constitutes of housewives, meaning only about 22 to 23% of the women population are actually employed, are a part of the workforce. What does this indicate? This indicates that about 382 million women, I'm talking about million women are financially dependent. And why this is a problem is because money goes hand in hand with respect. If you don't earn money, you don't get respect. This is the equation that has been going on for so long. So this is why it matters. And now another reason why we need to take this into account is because since there are so many women in the same predicament as the protagonists of these two films, be it English or be it The Lunchbox, are housewives. So more or less their predicament is going to be similar to the women in India who are housewives as well, which is why talking about these issues becomes all the more important. Yeah. Okay. So moving on. Right. Now, this is something that is very close to my heart. And if we have gone through the news, now I'm talking about global news, but even the news in India, perhaps in the past few months, it takes effort to not be bothered, because every other day we hear about heinous crimes. I mean, horrible things are being done to women. And if you look at the stats on screen, it says in India, a woman becomes a victim of dowry death every 1 hour 13 minutes. That's crazy to think about. And if you go further down the line, it says, a woman becomes a victim of cruelty by husband or the family every 4 minutes. I mean, that's unimaginable. I can't even comprehend such a thing, but that's it. That's the reality for most women in India. And on the second image, if you see, 52% women believe that it's okay for a man to beat a wife. Can you believe it? But that's the reality. Now, even though these films don't have a wife beater per se in the characters, but we do have male chauvinist pigs who believe that women do not deserve to be respected. Women do not deserve to be, given a lot of importance. They are trivial, yeah, just like a part of furniture. So that is why this becomes very important. Okay, then now we have another quote. It says, sex equality laws exist nearly everywhere, and sex equality exists virtually nowhere. This is so important. Let alone sex equality, let's just take equality in general. We have equality laws on paper. We have them as a part of our constitution. We have them being spoken out of politicians' mouths every minute, every day. But does that mean equality exists? No, not at all. And this paradox is evidently exemplified in India, where at least 79.8% of the population, now 79.8% of the population subscribes to the Hindu religion, who ardently worship goddesses. And ironically, we are literally on the 8th day of Navratri, Ashtami. Yeah, these Navratri, this period of Navratri is dedicated to a goddess. And it is in this country that rapes happen every 15 minutes. And they range from a baby of 8 months to an old lady of 80 years. It's in this country that we're talking about goddesses being worshipped, right? So you understand that how weird it is to comprehend a society that functions on two parallel hypocritical paths. Yeah. Okay. Now we'll move forward a little to get to the story. Yeah. Now, the background that I've given you refers to the topic at hand, because we need to understand that whatever violence that I've mentioned happens on multi-levels. It can also be indirect. It can also be mental, which has, more long-lasting scars. And it can also be in several subtle, ways. Okay, then here we see a film, English to English. It is a Gauri Shinde's debut directorial venture, and it attempts to show the seemingly uninteresting, dull, and often taken for granted side of a housewife's work and life in a way that forces the viewer to pause and take note. Now, Sridevi as Shashi is breathtaking for sure, because she's totally in her element, completely comfortable with being a 40-year-old woman. She's not trying to be a 20-year-old young woman. She's not trying to look younger. She's okay with having a husband, having a child. Yeah, okay. And then this is where we need to focus, because now Shashi, a housewife, defines herself through a demeaning lens constructed by her closest family, which consequently pushes her to operate in a social world from a place of self-doubt. What has happened is her efforts to maintain the house, to maintain the family, to take care of her family members are dismissed as, are either not acknowledged, or they're just thought of as a duty. And while she does all of this while forgetting her own needs, she finds her identity to be lost somewhere in the chaos, right? And but at the same time, she still has her laddu selling business. She makes motichur laddus and she sells them, and her clients enjoy her food as well as her warm personality, something that her family is not able to do as much. Even though she has like a loving mother-in-law, her husband and her daughter have a quite problematic treatment towards her. Now, I'm not blaming the daughter as much, because the daughter only has internalized the condescension that comes from her father, and the husband treats her only to satiate his nourishment or sexual needs. These are the only two things that he needs her for. And even though he appreciates her cooking and does all of those things, he does not realize her worth at all. Every time she talks about her business, he has a very lackadaisical approach. Oh, it's okay, you can take care of it. He does not give it the importance it deserves. And this makes her extremely scared of even thinking of becoming independent. And that's a problem. Yeah. Okay. So this is something that we have to keep in mind, that the husband has a very derogatory approach, and that approach has been internalized by the daughter as well. The only other person other than her mother-in-law who seems to love her is her son, who hasn't internalized his father's or his sister's derogatory, derisive treatment of his mother yet. So he loves her with all his heart. Okay. So moving forward, how language becomes a part of our life, we'll see that. So let's move on to the next slide. Now, so what is the best part of this film? The master stroke that Shinde makes here is, without getting into the socio-political angle of how English is used or recognized in India, it hits completely on the home. It is questioning the treatment we give to our mothers. It holds up a mirror to the most almost deliberately neglected aspect of our social lives pertaining to our mothers. This is something that we don't talk about. Often we choose not to talk about. Yeah. And this is what she's talking about. And it's not just mothers, it's actually wives too. Because Shashi's husband has, taken her for granted completely. He has just fitted into his head that this woman has, come to life only to feed me, only to take care of me. And every time she initiates a conversation with him, he has a very, dismissing sort of an attitude that, oh, okay, it's fine. Whatever you say is not going to matter at all. So let's just focus on me and what I need right now. And this is something that we need to talk about. And the same approach has been, adopted by the daughter as well, because we see the daughter also treating her in the similar manner, where she says that, oh, you don't know how to read, you don't know anything, what are you going to do, how are you going to contribute to my life? So that is something that's very problematic, I feel. Yeah. Okay. So moving forward, yes, now opportunity presents itself through I'm not sure what happened. Is the screen functioning properly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why the material has not come. Okay. It's okay. So let's just look at it this way. So now the opportunity presents itself through her niece's wedding in America, and it is decided that Shashi will travel to USA alone. Now, the director is very thoughtful in the way that they present very realistic problems in a way, in the form of immigration forms, monolingual American aerosters who don't understand what she needs, the foreign land. But there is a change that is visible on the screen as well. Shashi receives kindness and complete strangers who accept and acknowledge her personhood irrespective of the language she speaks, something her family is unable to do until the very end. This is something, this is a point where Amitabh Bachchan steps into the scene and he helps her out completely unbothered by the language she speaks. And that's something that we all can learn from, I feel. Yeah. So then there is this particularly distressing scene. It's actually the turning point in the film where Shashi goes to a coffee shop for a bite and a cup of coffee, and the lady at the counter, she's actually a woman of color. This is important and I'll explain later, who is completely unable to be empathetic towards Shashi or her lack of the language she's speaking, and she's completely, done with it. She treats Shashi as somebody who's very annoying, and she does not have any patience. So he utterly humiliates her in the coffee shop, and Shashi is driven to tears. And we see I feel this is something that's very important, because you understand that both women are women of color. And despite being a woman of color, the woman at the counter is unable to shake off the supposedly attached heritage of their shared colonial past. English is just a remnant of it. They don't have to speak that language necessarily, but that becomes a point of breakage. Yeah. And Shashi runs out of the store. She sits and cries, and that's one moment where your heart breaks, because her only fault is not knowing English. How can that be such a crime that she's treated so badly? Yeah. And coincidentally, it is at that moment she spots an advertisement about learn English in 4 weeks, and she makes a decision that she's going to enroll herself. And that is where the change comes in. So the English learning course, there is a diverse classroom with a Tamilian techie, a Pakistani cab driver, an African man, a Chinese girl, and a handsome French chef. This French chef is the same person she meets after she runs out of the coffee shop, and he's the one who extends a kind word to her, and she's, calming down a little. So we realize that, oh, he's the same person who was kind to her before. And in the classroom also, they form a very beautiful family where everybody is very accepting of her, and so she finally gets the validation she needs, the sense of belonging she needs, and she realizes that she's an entrepreneur. This is a very big realization for her, because she moves from a collectivist culture to an individualist culture where she realizes her own worth, that she also has an identity that matters, right? And she starts taking pride in herself and her work. Now, another factor in the film is this relationship between Shashi and Laurent, and his attraction towards Shashi is quite apparent. He says that, Shashi's eyes are so beautiful, they're like drops of coffee in a cup of milk. And we understand that he is quite taken by her personality and her beauty. But in spite of that, even though Shashi does not encourage him, they develop a very comfortable friendship where they are able to share feelings despite not knowing each other's language. And I'm saying this because there's this particularly distressing scene where her daughter calls her up from India and she yells at her that, why did you keep this book somewhere? And she's so insulting in her tone and everything that Shashi is completely done with it. She says, what right do children have to disrespect their parents in such a way? And she talks in Hindi, right? And she talks about how you can teach a child everything, but not how to care for another person's feelings. That's something that comes from within. And while all of this is happening, Lauren just quietly walks beside her. He understands her emotions, even though he does not understand her language. And this is so poignant because Shashi, a woman, a housewife, speaks her mind, her emotions for the very first time in front of a man who does not understand her language. How heartbreaking is it? I mean, the only shoulder or the only listening person she found is somebody who sadly does not understand her language but understands her emotions and stands by her in a moment of need. And this makes her believe that there can be change. Yeah. So the transformation comes within her. She goes from a doormat position to demanding that she needs to be respected and accepted. She goes from being disrespected and ignored to acknowledging her own needs. Her self-sacrificial and helpless and dependent nature transforms into a new Shashi who understands her own worth. Now, all of this matters because at the end of the day, she forgives her husband, she forgives her daughter, knowing that that's what you need to do when you're a part of a family. You cannot hold grudges. But at the same time, she also understands that she has to help herself. She has to move forward in that way. Now, this is what connects her to the protagonist of the other film, The Lunchbox, Ila. Now, it is an epistolary, semi-romantic film. Epistolary basically means something that focuses on letters being exchanged. A film that has been called a quiet storm of banged emotions. Emotions are aplenty in this film. Now, Ila shares a very lackluster marriage. The husband is not interested. They don't have very good physical or mental relations. And she's just a unfortunate housewife. We must focus on everything she does to improve her situation. She cooks up new dishes, gets dolled up to revive connubial relations, devotes herself towards maximizing her husband and her daughter's happiness. She's a very loving mother, but she is distressed because her husband refuses to give her any kind of reaction. Now, it is at this point that it is revealed that her husband is cheating, having an affair, and a mix-up of the dabas, the lunchbox that we're talking about, leads to an innocent exchange of letters between her and Irfan Khan, who plays the character of Sajan, who is an almost retired accountant whose wife is dead and who lives a very solitary, very sad sort of an existence until he starts talking to Ida. Even though he does not respond with much fervor in the beginning, throughout their exchanging of letters, he opens up to her and he realizes that, oh, there is still hope in their life. Yeah. So why this matters is because it is language that brings this change in her. The letters that she exchanges with Sajan make her realize that she's not such a lost cause. There is still hope for her, and she wants to live her life for herself on her terms. And she wishes to move to Bhutan because of their happiness index. Now, as probably most of you are aware, Bhutan does not focus as much on economy as it does on its citizens' happiness. And it's a very wonderful thing to do. It's among the happiest countries in the world. And that is what attracts Ila the most. And she decides to take her daughter and move there. She realizes that there is a lot more to life other than that. Yes?
Yes, sorry, but you run out of time. Can you go to the conclusion, please?
Yes. I'll just come to the conclusion. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. So the parallels in empowerment for both of them is that they decide to break free from the suffocating bonds of patriarchy. Language becomes a vehicle of their emancipation. Both women go through a journey of self-discovery. They help themselves and those who aid it to fade to the background soon after they undergo self-realization. I would like to conclude with the words of Shashi in her speech. She says, "This marriage is a beautiful thing. It is a most special friendship of two people who are equal. Life is a long journey, and sometimes you have to help each other to feel equal. And if not, then you have to help yourself. It is important to not be judgmental. Family will always accept you. It will not laugh at your weaknesses. Family is the only place where you always get love and respect. And this is the change that needs to come in every housewife's life. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry for exceeding my, yes. I had a good time presenting. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the quality of the presentation. Very important subject. So I think now we will go to move on to the next presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Omat, you will present the video now?
Yes, I will present now.
Okay.
I'm Andia Abunuri, MSc
The sound is
of
okay?
Energy, Architecture,
Yes, okay, it's okay.
National Imam Khomeini University, Qazvin, Iran. I'm glad to present my paper at the third International Conference, Econder 2020. The title of my paper is Economic Analysis of Light Shelf Using in Office Buildings. Lack of fossil resources and its effects on the environment have led contemporary architects to use renewable energy. One solution is to use solar energy and its light during the day as one of the renewable energies. Daylight is one of the factors of environmental comfort and helps to save energy. The light that enters the space through the windows does not penetrate into the depth of the space. The light shelf can be used to increase the depth of light penetration. Light shelf is a horizontal panel that divides the window into two parts, the lower part and upper part of the window, which help the light to be transferred into the depth of the space by shining sunlight on the ceiling of the space and then reflecting to the depth of the space. It also acts as a shading, reducing the sun's heat absorption and reducing glare. Light shelf also reduces energy consumption due to daylighting and creates uniform light. Due to the high cost of electricity energy consumption for lighting, especially in office spaces, the use of light shelves is economically more efficient. Therefore, using the light shelf in office buildings will reduce the cost of energy consumption. The aim of this paper is to evaluate economically the use of light shelves. Light shelf is an old idea that has been reconsidered today. So far, several researches have been done in the field of light shelf, especially in the use of office buildings. The first research on light shelf was done in 1950 with the aim of lighting to a space of hospital with a deep plan, and the research on light shelf has continued since then. The office building light standard is known to be about 300 to 500 lux. These required lux of light can either be provided by electricity power or using light shelf design. The main factors affecting the quantity of light shining into the space are the geometry of the light shelf, dimensions and proportions, angle and material of the light shelf. Providing these variables will lead to different level of light concerning different times and location. Quantity of light can be measured using Rhino software. In this article, the light shelf was studied by simulation of a office room. The space of office is located in Semnan, Iran. Dimensions and details are based on standard organization and work national regulations, which are set as 4 meters wide, 5 meters length, and 3 meters high. This room has been equipped with a 3.6 square meter window in the south part with a 30% window to wall ratio. The location of the window is 1 meter higher than the floor. The light shelf is also located 2.20 meters higher than the floor. The chosen light shelf dimensions for simulation is 2.4 meters length and 1.2 meters width and half centimeters thickness. The window material is used double glazing window with a visible light transmission rate of 50%. In daylight simulations, the rate of the reflective light from the material surface and the kind of materials are important. The surface reflectance of the model are summarized in table 1. It's shown percentage of reflectance for walls, floor, ceiling, and light shelf. You can see in figure 1A section of office room, 1B plan of office room, and 3D office room. In figure 1C, annual daylight simulations for office room without light shelf were carried out in Honeybee plugin in Rhino software. This is shown in figure 2. According to annual daylight simulation of the office room without light shelf, 34% of time during 1 year, daylighting in center of a space is between 300 to 500 lux. Annual daylight simulations for office room with light shelf were carried out in Honeybee plugin in Rhino software. This is shown in figure 3. According to annual daylight simulation of office room with light shelf, 40% of times in 1 year. Daylighting in center of a space is between 300 to 500 lux. Cost-benefit analysis. Consumption of electrical energy is calculated using Rhino software based on 2 conditions, with and without light shelf. Electrical energy consumption in the office room without light shelf is 370 kilowatt hour, while with light shelf it will be reduced to about 348 kilowatt hour in 1 year. Of course, this is calculated for a single room of dimensions 4 times 5 times 3 equal to 60 cube meters, and for one position of light shelf 2.4 meters length and 1.2 meters wide and half centimeters thickness. Electrical energy expenditure can be calculated based on 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour price at Semnan City is 2,610 riyals, which depends on the currency rate. According to the result obtained in this research, using optimal light shelf design will be recommended, especially wherever there is lots of sunshine and the electrical energy is expensive. I thanks to all who organized this conference, especially Professor Dr. Serkan.
Mr. Ahmed?
Yes, finish the video. I can share other videos. Mr. Abdul Karim Ghazi or Nagmi.
Mrs. Ardana, if she is ready.
Hi.
Yes.
Yes. So,
yes, doctor, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thanks. You are welcome. So if you are ready, you can start now.
Yes, I can start. That would be better. That's not an issue. I'll start the presentation.
Okay.
1 minute. I'm sharing my PPT.
No problem. Yes, take your time.
Yes. So much. I'm unable to share my screen actually. So that they had given the permission of share a screen, but that PPT is not coming. 1 minute. I'm just checking my PPT's problems.
Yes.
I'm not able to share a screen. So who is the admin? Can you give me the authentication to share my screen, please?
The green button.
We give a chance to share screen, Mrs. Aratana. Now you can share screen, the green button on the button.
Yes. Now I got it. No issue. I'm just sharing.
Yes.
Now you are able to see my screen?
Yes, doctor.
So my topic is striving for stability in economics toward a concept of social dedication. So this topic is all about how society or a social dedication help to establish our economic. So in introduction, that the paper gives a tentative taxonomy of the social determination. 1 minute, I'm just giving this slide so that can be better to view. Yes. So this paper gives a tentative taxonomy, the social determination of behavior, describe the outcomes of controlled and natural experiment that simplest a broader view those determined can be unapproved and explanation. So in this introduction here, so I'm going to be explain about how society, social behavior can help to buy any of the product so that their social activity can be improved out and build our economic accordingly. So social behavior is one of the crucial part when we are talking about in the term of economic and buying behavior. So companies are paying more attention to the interest of the society in their operation and analyzing more than just number when it comes to making decision. So what happened in the second terminology, if we are talking about the companies, so companies mostly paying the attention where whatever we are doing, like we are doing the marketing of whether it is a product, whether it is a services. So what companies challenge actually, so they on the first level they do the paying attention of the interest of the society. If I have a particular interest to buying xyz product, then I will go and buy that product. So this is the complete decision making on behalf of our attention, company's attention. So whoever the company or a services, if they are planning to open a new organization or a new market, if they are going to be introduced, so that society has the crucial role play to taking the decision. So scenario behind that, so the monetary term ideally usually account for this. Yes, for the monetary term, our society can be play a crucial role to to build a ideally cloudly market. It's not particular in that region or a zone, but it's worldwide that can be affected. So considering there are non-social effect on preference, notions, cognition, behavior, economic, could be relevant to a man or woman isolation on an island. So whenever we are planning to do the businesses, so we must have to identify the man category and the woman category. In society, we need to be focused. If say suppose I am just giving the example of the India. Right now India have going the one festival, that is Navratra Puja, it's going on. So in that reason, if somebody is placing that maybe on the sari business or textile business or somehow, so we need to be identify the market, which market in India is best selling in our sari. So we need to identify man, woman, or maybe child. So whatever that we have the decision to making the worldwide, so we have to be isolated, non-social effect and the social effect. So these both scenario is important whenever we are planning to be establish our business. Once business will be established, then definitely our economic, our country situation will be grown day by day. So then social decision, having the skill in human behavior, this is also very important part of the human behavior. Whenever we are going to take any decision, that human behavior is the important part. So once human behavior we understand, then we will grow something or we will understand the market. So we need to first of all understand the human behavior, what kind of a human skill or a human behavior, what they are looking for, what they have preferred. If I am doing some marketing in USA, so that might be not too much shirt in sari or maybe in kurta pajama. So we need to be identify the social human behavior, what they are looking for, what they preferred. So in that terminology, we need to be motivate ourselves and our employee, that can be also impact for our society. Why I am talking about the motivation part? Just because of, if our employees motivate, then definitely they will do no, they will do better for no, our company. So they will think something, oh, my company is thinking about myself. So this is term comes in society. If company is thinking for ourselves, then definitely employee will thinking about your company, your business perspective, and this combination of whole world or whole organization can help to grow our economic. So conceptual framework, so I'm quickly go through that. It's done the effect of economic socially can improve company culture and lead with the happier employee. Yes, why this is important? If I am a lecturer in some of university, so I must have definitely looking forward for somebody who is into the part of our organization, maybe on chairman or maybe on a head of department. If he will take care of our family and he can understand about myself, so I might be happier. But sometime what happen in any of the organization, they are not never thinking about the socially, because they just treat uh, as a employee or as a manpower, like I have hired someone for this much amount, so I need to just take a work from them. No, it's not at all really work for the same. So we need to understand socially, we need to understand their family culture background and everything. So 84% of consumer prefer to buy from ethical companies. Yes, because this is the scenario happens in everywhere. It's if your company or your organization is better, then definitely consumer more prefer to buy ethical product from ethical organization, and business are constantly looking for a way to improve their performance, both in term of profit and in term of productivity and employee moral. So that all things is really important when we are talking about our economic or our organization. So this is the combination of whole organization. Once organization will be follow the rule, or might be we can say the follow the ethical way, so then definitely that can be effect on our economics. So one economic can be equivalent to n number of economics. That demand of the market can be changed as per the demand of human being. So this is the standard economic and two standard behavior economics. So the that is the concept of agent disciplinary foundation. This is the whole the drivens of behavior. So this all comes in behavioral analysis, you can say. And disciplinary foundation, that means we need to be understand about the market, what they are thinking about. And if you are talking about the economic behavioral term, so then disciplinary is one of the most important things when we are categorize the market, urban market or rural market. And the concept of agents is also important. If we can understand the concept clearly, we need to categorize the market accordingly. So there is the interpersonal effect in standard module in that relative consumption and coordination, utility and efficiency and collective action. So that means that relative consumption. So what here, one example I'm giving, that we all are know about the MACD. So MACD, what they do, when we buy burger, they say Coke is free if you buy 1+1. So this is a kind of a relative consumption. So might be this is also one term to effect on our economic from any of the country. So we sell the product with an offer, or might be on extra productivity, which will be help for our organization. And coordination utility, say suppose if you are going to the salon, what that person will take, madam, this offer is coming, you just give me your email id, any offer will come, that offer you will receive an email. So maybe on next service you will get 1,000 rupees of offer for this. So this is the also one way your coordination utility in consumer and the organization. So both way to understand, so what consumer is actually looking for and what is the benefit for Lakme Salon. So this is the coordination utility which can be help for any of the organization can done this kind of a businesses. And efficiency and collective action, yes, this is a also very important part. See, efficiency and collective action, that means we need to be understand the human decision, what they are looking for, what they preferred. Maybe in festival season there is the mostly three festival, that maybe in Christmas, Eid and Diwali. So these three festival we need to understand the collective action, which season we need to be sell that product, or maybe on services. So where we will put the promotion activity, where we will put that our extra activity or a offer we can give to the consumer. So that can be also helpful for our building our rural population actually. So most of the area, if we can say, it's not I am talking about that any specific country, but yes, I'm giving the example in India. For 60% population belongs to the rulers. So we need to identify the more market consumption. So next, social stability, making connection and building bridge. Why this is important? So corporate social responsibility is very, very important to building bridge in between society or organization. So there is a two category, internal and individual. So identify the root cause of issue in the workplace. So when and identify the solution that improve productive and satisfaction. So internal, I am talking about the social workflow which can be help for any of the organization to building their their productivity. Root cause, that means we need to understand what exactly employee is looking for. If employee is satisfied, if your maybe your farmer is satisfied, then farmer will do the that farming pretty good as compared to all others. So we need to identify the root cause. If employee is looking for some sort of a maybe incentive plan, or maybe other maybe holiday in Eid or Durga Puja or Diwali or Christmas, so we need to identify the root cause. If employee will be happy, then definitely our product will be reach higher. So we need to think once on that. And individual is alternative response to the market and distributive failure and becoming increasingly prominent. Individual, that means mostly what happen in that organization, people are not thinking about that much social impact actually. So what they do, they just do their businesses or their work simultaneously. They're alone, like I am a lion of that market and I'll do that. There is a one marketing term, cat, cow and dog. So on the same situation comes in individual. If you are not thinking about the society, society will never think about your organization. This is the true example and the true fact about that, the society, because every person looking for something, and that everything depend on the society. If society want to be want to you giving you that on the top level, then you will be on the top level. If society not liking you, they will not support you. So we need to understand on top of the socially little bit. If you want, if anyone want to establish their business in any of the market. So next, what do you think social dedication help corporate? So here it's already see, in social, corporate responsibility is not particular to be graduate in social work somehow, but this can be helpful if we can understand the people, the area, and we need to be know about our people. That is, we first of all we need to create the humanity. If we have that humanity, we will definitely grow. So everyone is looking for peace in the world now in this during corona. But is this peace around us? Can we buy from money? That is not possible. We can buy a peace from money, but when we are looking for the peace, we need, whatever the business we are doing, we need to create humanity. We need to think about our people first. If people will be happy, then definitely your organization will grow. So word of mouth marketing, 60% valid marketing. So we need to understand on top of basis, then society, and then economy, then world, or maybe on country. So everything will define and interlink to each other. We are always thinking about that our GDP is in right now in this -23. Why -23 is GDP right now in India? So that is a really problematic things. Even we are rich in agriculture and still we are surviving. We have a huge rice and other things in the situation in the rulers area, and a fruit exporting so many things, but still -23 is GDP in India. Have you ever think about our society, how society will help to grow this GDP? So this everything is happen, synchronizing each other. So we need to be think an objective that taxonomy of the social determination of man or woman behavior in term of economic stability. Yes, so this need to be classified first of all, woman behavior and a man behavior if we want to economic stability. Social determination of the manner of making decision is also is the part of our objective, like social determination, that the mean we need to be determined whatever we are doing, because we all are doing something for our society. So we need to think about our society. Trend economic can take into the account social alternatives. Trendy economic, that means whatever happening in this current market right now, everybody is fighting for to establish their businesses. They always said that coronavirus is really, this is a kind of a pandemic that we all are faces, huge losses. But this trendy economic can actually help for us. or we need to be identify the solution in future. If we are thinking about 2 years down to line in the past, if we are going, have you ever think about that whatever our business is in last 2 years in profit, can we tell someone that our organization is profit, we are in plus 23 GDP in India or maybe anywhere? Nobody can tell that we are overflowing GDP. But when we facing losses, we always ask, like, we have no social alternative, we are in losses and we are doing the layoff of the employee. This is not a part of any of the company or organization. We need to be understand and strategize the business accordingly. So this is the one objective which I have identified. We all need to be understand on the basis of society level. And cognitive approach psychologist is also one believed to be typical and understood on the fashion by rival and publicity before making any product stability. So yes, definitely we all do that production. We all do that the marketing. It's a publicity marketing is not particular that online, but yes, offline, online. Right now, people more of digitalize, because after 2020 that people can might be changes the way of behavior change. More of people are believe in digitalization, nobody is going out, and something is happening is everywhere. So this kind of a yes, according to the situation, we need to increase our publicity if you want to making product happier to the customer. So conclusion, there is a deep field wherein social context influence reference, perception, and cognition. And we have got impaired, and particularly how tradition and social context shapes the behavior is affected now, not just with the add of the social context in the in term of decision. So everywhere, there is, in conclusion, I'll add one more point, that human behavior is the one part which is very important. We all need to be understand, we all need to be in term of decision, we need to be think about our human decision, or maybe your decision, what you are thinking about, what you are thinking about the society, that is important. And the third things I will like to add, that social context influence preference, that mean we need to be understand about the society. So if society will be the happy, then definitely our organization will be happy. If organization will be happy, then definitely your country will be happy, and country will be happy, and then this economic will definitely help to grow. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Dr. Aradana. Thank you for the quality of presentation. Do you have any question?
Yes. I don't have. If you have anything you wanted to know, I'll explain.
Yes. You have any question? So thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Sarkant. Thank you, Professor Rairtin, for this opportunity. So I think Dr. Aradana will be the chair of the next session.
Okay, we also thank Mrs. Nadia Mansur. Of course, she will be with us in French session as a chair again. We thank her very much for her contribution to our Congress. Now, Mrs. Adatana will be our chair. She is also other keynote speaker of our Congress. We thank her again for her contribution and accepting to be chair in our Congress. Mrs. Aratana, thank you very much. Now time is your chair.
So I'm waiting for that queue of clients.
Presentation time is Mr. Abdur Nasir, the first. Mr. Abdur Nasir, can you open your microphone?
ما عنديش صوت أنا. ها؟ عندي صوت أنا.
Mr. Abdur
أنا ما عندي
Nasir,
صوت يا أخي.
now you can
نسمع
start
شوية.
your presentation, but of course you should open your microphone.
تمام.
Now we can hear you,
Assalamualaikum.
Mr. Abdur, Prof. Abdur Nasir. Now we can hear you. We
I
are
don't hear
hearing.
you, Doctor. Excuse me.
Yes, we are hearing you, Professor.
Excuse me, Doctor. I don't hear you because I don't. Maybe I have some problem in my sound.
Now you can start. We are hearing you. I think Mr. Abdur Nasir, we can hear you. You can start, please. Mr. Abdur Nasir. Prof. Abdur Nasir, you can start. I think Mr. Omar Ramari is here. Mr. Abdur Nasir, can you solve your problems, microphone problems? Or we can give time to solve your problems by okay, Mr. Ömer Arramari, are you here?
Yes.
If you accept, you can start a video presentation. By this way, we can give opportunity Prof. Mr. Abdur Nasir to solve microphone problems.
Okay.
Now share screen is open, so you can share your screen, your PowerPoint.
I can see my background. I don't know why. Doctor, hello.
Hello.
على الشاشه تو ترى اقول لك هذه يدير لها من هنا شيء
Ha, aynı yan yana vermiş. Mr. Ömer Arramari, you can, if you cannot share your screen, you can speak and you can make your presentation by speaking.
Yeah. 1 minute, just 1 minute.
We are hearing you.
Yeah.
There is no problem. There is no problem in voice.
Mr. Omar,
Yeah.
firstly, open the PowerPoint file.
Yeah.
Firstly, open the PowerPoint file in your computer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Wire one file. No, sir.
Open the PowerPoint file. After then, click on the Zoom program share screen button.
Yeah.
After then, PowerPoint file. Select PowerPoint file.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. خش عليه خلاص عيني
لكن هذا هو
اوكي
تمام خلاص كلام
اوكي
ولا اقول اي فايده
Yeah, doctor.
I think if you have problem, you can start.
Yeah, it's okay now. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Can I start?
Yes, you can start, not an issue.
Okay. I'm Omar Ermali. I'm from Libya. I'm lecturer at Mustafa University.
Can you speak a bit loud, please?
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm Omar Ermali. I'm from Libya. I'm lecturer at Musrata University. The title of paper is Leadership Attitude and its Styles, Review, a Study. Introduction. The leadership role in the organization is essential through setting the vision, mission, goals, drawing strategies, and directing efforts to achieve the organization's goals. There is no exist and compassion theory of leadership, but there are of prominent theories. So to become an effective leader, different theories suggest different meanings for that. There are several theories of leadership, such as trait theory, behavior theory, situational theory, leadership theory, path goal theory, leader member exchange theory. Leadership styles are necessary for successful. Some leaders are successful more than others. So some of them get respect from their employees while others do not. Each type of leadership styles has a specific impact on the performance of the employees. And leaders who oppose it do not get respect even though they may be successful. conceptual framework. Leadership. Leadership is the ability to influence a group to achieve of a goal or set of goals. Leadership is a process by which an executive can direct, guide, and influence the behavior and work of others toward the accomplishment of specific goals in a given situation. Leadership is an ability of manager to endorse the subordinates, work with confidence and ethicism. Leadership is to deal and adjust with a change, focusing on the long term, not always doing to save himself in accident, to take risks and focuses on people and their values, not just the bottom line. Theories of leadership. There are several leadership theories, and they are as follows. Three theories of leadership does focus on personal qualities and characteristics. We recognize leaders like South Africa's Nelson Mandela, Ferguson Group CEO, Richard Branson, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs, etc. A review in the late 1960s of 20 different studies identified nearly 80 leadership traits, but only 5 were common to 4 or more of the investigations within the 1990s. After numerous studies and analyses about the best we could say was that most leaders are not like other people, but the particular traits that characterized them varied a great deal from survey to survey. Based on the last findings, we can say that traits can predict leadership. Also, traits do a better job predicting the emergency of leadership and the appearance of leadership than actually distinguishing between effective and ineffective leaders. Behavior theories as a result the failures of early traits studies, behavior theories of later emerged, which implied that people could be trained to be leaders. The independent of leader behavior were divided through Ohio State studies in the late 1940s. 2 dimensions were identified that to certain extent encompass most of leadership behavior. They are as follows. Structure is the range to which a leader is likely to define and structure his role and those of employees in the search of goal attainment. Consideration is the range to which a person's job relationships are characterized by mutual trust, respect for employees' ideas, and regard for their feelings. Situational leadership theories, SLT, focuses on the followers. It says successful leadership depends on selecting the right leadership style dependent on the followers' readiness or the extent to which they are willing and able to accomplish a specific task. A leader should choose one of four behaviors depending on follower readiness. If followers are unable and unwilling to do a task, the leader needs to give a clear and specific directions. If they are unable and willing, the leader needs to display high task orientation to compensate for followers' ability. If followers are able and unwilling, the leader needs to use a supportive and participative style. If they are both able and willing, the leader doesn't need to do much. But goal it says it's the leader's job to provide followers with the information, support, or other resources necessary to achieve their goals. According to this theory, whether a leader should be directive or supportive or should demonstrate some other behavior depending on complex analysis of the situation. Leadership member exchange theory, LMX, it is a theory that supports leaders' creation of the groups and out groups. Subordinates within a group states will have higher performance ratings, less turnover, and greater job satisfaction. Leadership styles. Number one, autocratic style is characterized by an I tell. Physiology, autocratic leaders tell their staff members what to do. All decision-making power for leaders, moreover, does not all follow others to question decisions or authorities. A democratic approach is characterized by an I share physiology. Decisions are made within teams, with each member have equal input. Participative leadership style is that involves all members of team in identifying essential goals and developing procedures of strategies of reach those goals. Charismatic leadership style is considered to be motivational for employees as it invites them to innovation and creativity, and charismatic leaders develop a vision and ask employees to follow and implement it, as this style is considered one of the most successful leadership styles. But the dark side of this pattern is that employees depend on the leader. And when the leader leaves the organization, they become less directive. Transactional leadership style knows as a leader if he is always willing to give some things in present, like promotion, price, performance reviews, a new responsibility. But the problem with this type of leadership is the expectation. So transactional leadership can be defined as the exchange of characters and rewards between the management and the employees. Transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is behavior orientates in the personal values and beliefs of the leader and motivates subordinates to do more than expected. Identified transformational leadership as a process where one or more persons engaged with others and such a way that leaders and followers rise one others to high levels of motivation and morality. The difference between transformational and transactional leadership in the way of motivating others. Method, the descriptive approach was relied upon in writing this paper by reviewing previews, literature, and books related to the topic of the paper. Conclusion and recommendation. Literature findings collected in this paper provides an exposure on the impact of styles of leadership as the elements to achieve organization goals through increase employees' job performance. On the other hand, through the leadership style affects the achievement of goals in many ways, and for this there is no ideal leadership style for each situation. So it is important for organization identify which leadership style has more significant relationship with employees. Also, there is no leadership style that can be adopted in all organizations, but the style is determined by the...
Hi, Umar, please concentrate on time limit also, please.
Yeah?
Time limit, please. So you just conclude as soon as possible.
Again,
الوقت قصير قلت لك يتم بسرعة.
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
And the size each organization, as it was found that the style is suitable for large organization, while the democratic style and participation are more successful in a small organization. Recommendation: I recommended conducting a study on how to choose the appropriate leadership style for an organization by analyzing culture, education, behavior of employees. Finally, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you. So can I ask some question to you?
Yeah.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know what relationship skill do you find most useful in leadership?
Yeah, I can't hear you exactly.
What relationship skill do you find most useful in leadership?
Sorry, I don't understand you because I can't hear you exactly.
You have explained two things when you are speaking: transformation leadership and transactional leadership.
Transformation.
Yes, so can you explain transformation leadership and transactional leadership?
عرف الليدرشيب بوضوح بس.
Different between or just definition. I can't hear you.
You can explain the difference between transactional leadership and transformation leadership.
Okay. Transactional leadership is leader. He always willing to give something and present like performation by rise, performance reviews, a new responsibility. But transformational, I think not there is not different between them. Just the management and the employee. Defined as the exchange of target and rewards between the management and the employee. I think not a big difference between them.
Okay, no problem. Fine.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to ask from me, if you have in mind?
Sorry?
Anything else you want to ask from me?
بتسأل أي سؤال يا عمر قالت لك؟
No, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So next, I think Nandini will present the paper.
Yes, sure. Am I audible and visible to all of you?
Yes.
Visible?
Yes.
Okay. This is Nandini Kanekar from India. My today's presentation topic, I am employee of Prado Private Limited in India as a Deputy Quality Assurance Unit. Previously, I was working for Intox Private Limited as a assistant in acute toxicity animal house department. And my educational details are I have completed my BSc from Pune, India from Abasaheb Garware College, and I have completed my MSc from Naurozji Wadia College, Pune, India, and nowadays I am pursuing PhD from JJT University, Rajasthan, India. My today's presentation topic is effect on eggs of Aedes aegypti mosquito. This is the dengue mosquito, which I want to explain you that
plant Senna auriculata flower powder when apply on eggs of Aedes aegypti at time interval of 24 hours, then what happened? We'll discuss that thing in today's my presentation. In this research paper, we aim to describe the effect of Senna auriculata flower powder on Aedes aegypti mosquito at 24 hours, as I told you now. As we all know that dengue is a tropical disease which is born from mosquito by dengue virus. The species of that particular disease is known as Aedes aegypti. This is the type of mosquito which bites to us and got symptoms to us like muscle pain, joint pain, skin rash, fevers, vomiting, and headache, etc. Dengue nowadays become a problem globally. Now, the information regarding the plant Senna auriculata, which I have performed my research work on that plant. This plant is easily found all over the India, and this plant is having great medicinal value. This plant Senna auriculata, also known as avar turkey or avarampu, this belongs to family Leguminosae, means this plant is having fruits also, and leaf of this plant is dull green in color and small in size. That means it is in bushy size, having a very short yellow bright flower, and this plant also found in all the seasons. Materials and methods which I have used in my research work is my study was performed in India, Pune, India, from Ross Life Science Private Limited, Pune. This plant species was collected from India around Western Ghats from Pune region, and I have collected the flower of this plant, and that flower were dried under the shade and extraction were prepared in the laboratory. For the extraction, I have used N-hexane chemical. And mosquito eggs, that is Aedes aegypti mosquito egg sheet, were also collected from the industry. The name of industry was Ross Life Science, and I have my study was also performed in that industry also. And according to WHO guideline, I have done my work. For that, I have kept 50 eggs of Aedes aegypti mosquito, and uh, that eggs was inserted into the N-hexane extract for 24 hours, and after that I have recorded my readings at different replication. As per WHO guideline, I have done 12 replications. From that 12 replication, I have made three types of group: R1, R2, R3, R4. This is my first group of group. In that I have make four different groups: R1, R2, R3, R4, means four time I have performed this at various concentrations, like I have used 50 ppm parts per minute, 100 ppm, 150 ppm, and 200 ppm. For this observation, I have compared my readings with control group. From R1 to R4 total I have seen from 50 ppm 0 eggs were hatched from 50 ppm of concentration. Sorry. Then in 100 ppm of concentration, I have also seen that there were no eggs hatched till 24 hours. Another concentration was 150 ppm. In that also I have seen there were no eggs hatched till 24 hours. And the last one was higher concentration, it was 200 ppm, and in that concentration I have also not seen any egg of Aedes aegypti mosquito was hatched. But in case of control group, out of 50 eggs, I have seen that 37 eggs were found to be hatched. So the percentage of 50 ppm to 200 ppm, the percentage of egg hatching was 0, and reduction over control means all these four groups are control compare with control group, and it was seen that 100% reduction over control was found in first four replications, and percentage from the control group was found to be 74% egg hatch. when I have done comparison in which 50 ppm, 100 ppm, 150 ppm and 200 ppm. So this is my graph regarding reduction over control from different concentration. Now next is from R5, R6, R7, R8. This is the second group of the comparison in which I have same concentration with control group. In this concentration also I have taken 50 eggs of Aedes aegypti mosquito. Out of that 35 eggs were hatched in control group, and the percentage of the control group was 70. When control group compare with 50 ppm, 100 ppm, 150 ppm and 200 ppm, it was seen that there were no eggs were hatched till 24 hours of interval. So reduction over control of this 4 ppm was found to be 100%. So my last group was R9, R10, R11, R12. These four were the last replication of the same group out of 12 replication. In this case also I have seen that out of 50 eggs I have seen 43 eggs were hatched in control group, but when control group compare with 50 ppm, 100 ppm, 150 and 200 ppm concentration, it was seen that there were no eggs were found to be hatched till 24 hours of interval. So it means there were reduction over control found to be 100%. So this data will resulted into that when mosquitoes egg species of Aedes aegypti treated with N-hexane extract of Senna auriculata plant, there were no hatchability till 24 hours in 50 ppm, 100 ppm, 150 and 200 ppm of concentration. So the percentage reduction over control is 100% till 24 hours, means it will gives protection up to the 24 hours in all above mentioned 4 replication. So this plant were found to be 100% effective till 24 hours, and further data will be published for 72 hours of uh, interval. This study will help to the peoples from rural area, as this plant is available easily all over the India. This study will also help to the economy of India or all over the globe to reduce the risk of dengue, and how the people will get sorry it will help to economy of many people try to reduce the risk of dengue disease with proper care. Thank you. Thank you so much. Questions? Any?
Uh, yes. So I just wanted to know,
Yes.
you are talking about that dengue plant.
No,
That
it's not
the
a dengue
name
plant.
is
It's a Ayurvedic medicinal plant, but it will help to the dengue disease.
okay. So can you describe more about that? How it plants will be helped globally to cure the people?
Yes, 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 definitely. Now my research work is going on Aedes aegypti essence stick also, and ovicidal
Okay.
assay and larvicidal assay. I'm working on that. From This plant is also help in medicinal use. It has lots of medicinal use. It is used in diabetic study also for the specific dengue disease. It will help that if the people from rural area will take flower and dried under shade, and if they want to just dust it on a flame, so it will give 70 to 80% of protection from dengue to the people who cannot afford the mosquito sprays, mosquito bats and mosquito creams. So for those people this plant will also helpful, that if you burn the powder in freely in the air near your house, then it will give 70 to 80% protection to the people who is living in rural area.
Okay, because yes, okay. So I also wanted to know, in dengue vaccination in which year came?
uh,
Any
Sorry, I
idea?
don't know, ma'am. I don't have any idea which year it was came.
And vaccination name?
Don't know, madam.
CID TDB 2015. Anyway, thank you, Nandini. Thank
Okay.
you for
Thank
your
you,
time.
Aradhana, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, next will be prepared Mr. Abdel Nasir.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, hi, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, Congress members and all the participants. I introduce myself. My name is Abdel Nasser Al Harari. I'm from Libya. I'm a lecturer at University. I'm from Libya.
So can you slide
Yes.
your PPT? Can you just scroll it slide?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. My paper's title is Environmental Citizenship, its definition and dimensions. And the introduction. Environmental citizenship has gained increasing pragmatics in policy making process and academic work over the last two decades as a means of promoting the goals of sustainability and environmental safeguard and manage environmental concerns into political theory and styles of political engagement, but making sustainable societies arguably requires more than changes in behavior triggered by physical invites. Conception of global and environmental citizenship have emerged in responses to concern about environmental sustainability and global inequality. There are many terms that are adopted in environmental and administrative thought by reference to environmental citizenship, including green citizenship, ecological citizenship, sustainability citizenship, environmental citizenship, and corporate environmental citizenship. All these terms refers to the same idea and may be used interchangeably. Environmental citizenship means that employee adopt voluntary behavior inside or outside the organization to protect the environment from negative impact by adhering to the green labor culture and keeping pace with environmentally friendly technologies. Dimensions of environmental citizenship, like the figure, participation, sustainability, responsibility, and right and justice. Environmental participation in environmental awareness, participation in the process of making decision related to solving environmental problems, writing article about environmental issues in local and international newspapers, participation in the legal demonstrations about environmental issues. Environmental sustainability requires control of carbon. Environmental sustainability involves maintaining stocks of natural resource. Environmental sustainability requires transitioning to renewable energy source. Environmental sustainability requires responsible consumption. environmental responsibility, reduce our impact on climate change by using renewable energy resource and drive energy efficiently in our products, facilities and supply chain, conserve previous resource so we can thrive, safer materials, pioneer the use of safer material in our product and process. The last dimensions is right and justice. Environmental right play an important role in environmental citizenship. The main environmental rights and the individuals has the right to be informed about matters concerning the environment, the right to be to participate and decisions that concern the environment, the appeal right given to the individual as alone or in groups in order to prevent damage, to stop and to recover in case of any damage to the environment. The method, this paper related to the descriptive methods because it is the most appropriate scientific method for studying this problem, this phenomenon. Whereas this method includes comprehensive review of the literature relevant to the research topic. Conclusion and recommendation. Through comprehensive the review of previous studies, it was found that there are many terms that are adopted in environmental and administrative thought by reference to environmental citizenship, including green citizenship, ecological citizenship, sustainability citizenship, environmental citizenship, and corporate environmental citizenship. All these terms refer to the same idea and may be used instead of them. Also by examining the previous letters, it was seen that there are for most faceted dimensions of environmental citizenship represented in participation, responsibility, sustainability, and right and justice. I recommended that more research be done on concepts of citizen environmental citizenship or ecological, and does environmental citizenship remain at the local level only, or it will progress to be global issues. Finally, thank you for listening.
Thank you. So as I have, last month I have seen the news of environment in Libya. That the situation was pretty, bad there. That day by day, that the summer climates and all. So these oily industries such as a glaze farming, marine groundwater population, so many things. So I just wanted to know that what do you think the Libya down to line 5 years would be changed in terms of environment safety?
In Libya, we need
after 5 years.
Maybe in Libya, I think this term is still new in Libya because the environmental care is still not exactly from the companies, for example, cement companies or Aryan companies or oil companies. These companies try to care about the environmentally, but this ways is still not exactly the same world, but there is many damage in the environment in Libya. For this reason, I choose this topic to make awareness about this situation.
Okay, so it's well to be study on that environmental part actually. So that I also wanted to know natural resource. Can you give me the example? Natural resource example.
In Libya, yes. For example, this the oil in Libya. This many company in Libia, oil, petroleum, oil companies, gas companies, cement companies, Orient steel and steel companies. This all of them this make some corruption in environment.
Yes, that is very crucial part to be understand the environment safely. Now
Yes,
Corona came, then people use the mask. And but from the environment pollution, we not even use that mask or not thinking about that our natural resource and anything. So we need to understand the environment first of all. So this is great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So next will be Abdul Fatah Shadi.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Abdul Fatah Salim Sadi. On my title, I will introduce my title, and my title is the impact of managing stress on work-life balance. The introduction. One of the main factors in successfully managing work-life balance is the ability to reduce and control stress. Stress management is the ability to recognize the sources of stress and restructure yourself, your work, or your life in order to cope with them. In this challenging and demanding era, it is very difficult to maintain a balance between the two as demands. As demands have increased, leading to work stress. Good employment practice includes assessing the risk of stress among employees, enough to cope with the demands and the stress of the situation. Stress management is the ability to recognize the sources of stress and restructure your life, your work, or your life in order to cope with them. Stress wreaks destruction on your emotional balance as well as your physical health. Effective stress management helps you break the hold stress has on your life, so you can be healthier and more productive. Positive and negative stress. Positive stress has the next features. Motivates, focuses energy, is perceived as within our coping abilities, feels exciting, and improves performance. Negative stress causes concern, feels unpleasant, decreases performance, can lead to mental and physical problems. Thus, the key is to find a balance between having enough stress to improve performance and ensuring that the level of stress doesn't impact negatively on performance and well-being. A problem statement and aim of study. Lack of work flexibility, high work pressure, and longer working hours are stressing out many employees, reducing their job performance and productivity as well, and causing broken homes. Employees who find it difficult to properly balance his or her family life tends to also have difficulties managing tasks at his or her workplace, therefore resulting in poor employee performance. The final aim is balanced life. Conclusion and recommendations. The matter of work-life balance is so significant that the employer should develop and deploy strategies to reduce the imbalance between employees' work and personal lives. Thus, realizing the importance of work-life balance should take suitable measures like flexible working hours, flexible working arrangement, leave arrangement, dependent care assistance, and general services to improve the level of work-life balance of their employees and to improve their work-related performance. Organizations can prevent negative stress and its consequences by training managers and personnel effectively for better knowledge and management of stress factors. Thanks to conference committee.
Thank you, sir. So I
Thank
have
you.
one question for you.
Thank you.
That topic was really nice. Work-life balance is very important for everyone. In fact,
Of course.
in any of the industry.
تشكر دينا.
Yes. So what do you think that, I mean, in work-life balance, what are the benefits will provide focused area in work-life balance?
If the work balance is very, 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 very significant in our lives. Without it, يعني causes broken homes, reduce productivity, causes imbalance of
Yes.
all of works.
So we need to be understand actually work-life balance is important. Otherwise, that people know more to be using of drugs, addicted or a tobacco. That is the reason that came into that picture actually. So thank you, sir. It was good.
Thank you.
And next will be Nazmi. I made. Yeah, Nazmi will be available. Nazmi, you are available. Can you unmute your mic, please, Nazmi?
Mr. Najmi Aymer. Mr.
I
Najmi
think
Aymer.
her connection issue.
Dr. Narmi sends the video. I have a video, his video. If you want, I can share. Dr.
Okay, okay.
Renewable energy consumption and economic growth of OPEC countries. Introduction. This paper examines the long run and the causal relationship between renewable energy consumption, economic growth, and carbon dioxide emission for 13.
Can you see the video?
No. So, sir, that somebody, it's in previous slides is open. Abdul Fateh sir's slide is now I'm able to see.
Mr. Abdul Fattah, can you close your share screen?
تمام.
Is that okay now?
Renewable energy
Yes.
consumption and economic growth of OPEC countries. Introduction. This paper examines the long run and the causal relationship between renewable energy consumption, economic growth, and carbon dioxide emission for 13 OPEC countries over the period 1990 to 2015 by using the panel data approach. We are studying the impact of energy consumption on the economic growth of OPEC countries and the introduction of some economic factors not addressed in the literature at the level of these countries, such as carbon dioxide emission and labor force. There are empirical studies that have contributed to the discussion of the relationship between energy consumption and economic growth. However, there is no opinion on the direction of causal relationship between energy consumption and economic growth. There are four opinions in the literature review. The first view, growth hypothesis, meaning that there is a causal relationship from energy to growth. The second view, to conservation hypothesis, is that there is a causal relationship from economic growth to energy consumption. The third view, the feedback hypothesis, that causal relationship in both directions between economic growth and energy consumption suggest that economic growth and energy consumption complement each other. Finally, the fourth opinion, there is no causal relationship between energy consumption and economic growth. Method. In this paper, we collected cross-section data and time series to study the relationship between a dependent variable, GDP, and independent variables, carbon dioxide emission, renewable energy consumption, and labor force. We transfer all variables in logarithm form. Methods of analysis. Panel unit root tests, panel configuration tests, panel causality tests. Results. The results indicates in the long run that a 1% increase in energy consumption leads to a 0.01% increase in GDP. And there is a two-way causality feedback from economic growth to energy consumption. There is two-way causality from carbon dioxide emission to energy consumption. Also, there is one-way causality from economic growth to carbon dioxide emission. Conclusion and recommendation. This paper examined the causality relationship between energy consumption, economic growth, and carbon dioxide emission for the period from 1990 to 2015 for 13 OPEC countries. The result indicates that a 1% increase in energy consumption leads to a 0.01% increase in economic growth. These countries can encourage renewable energy consumption as a replace for traditional energy by different policies. Thank you so much.
Okay. I think so. Now we have a break for 30 minutes as per discussion with the jury member.
Mr. Aratana?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we have a break for 30 minutes, I think.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Aratana. After time break, about half an hour, we will continue with other sessions. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.